It's not looking good for some reasons. Graphics and performance. Yeah, resolution is cool. Yeah. Let's try these glasses. We'll be getting underway here in a second, folks. What is good is it is the godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man Lincoln Clay. We are back for a live stream of Automobilista 2. I think according to the poll that I put up this weekend, it appears that Automobilista 2 got the most votes for the next game that I would stream. So here we are. Unfortunately, I was hoping to do a low field motorsports race, but by the time the race was about to start, there was only 4 registered drivers. So I just didn't really see the need I didn't really see any reason to enter that race. So I guess what we'll do is we'll look for some open lobbies, and if we can't find something, then I'll do some single player races that are tailored to my liking. So before we get into it, I do want to talk about a couple of quick things. Starting with the Xbox showcase that happened today, and I think they showed some really interesting games. They showed a lot of interesting games, and what really surprised me about those games is those games had like a AA aesthetic to them, but they had a AAA graphics and quality about them. All those games look good. The graphics look good on all those games. Even they look good without looking like it cost $200 to $300 million to make it. So I was really surprised. And then the Xbox handheld, the Xbox Rogue Alloy, they've got the Alloy and the Alloy X. If I had to make a guess, I would say that the Alloy is probably going to start at $500 to $600, and I think that the Alloy X is probably going to start somewhere between $700 and $800. But I think it's a game changer. You know, you have access to all your Xbox games, your PC games. You can access storefronts or other platforms such as Steam, the Epic Store, GOG or GOG. You can access all those games and play those games, and all of it is condensed to one library. Whereas like the Steam Deck, from what I understand about the Steam Deck, if I'm remembering this correctly, the Steam Deck uses, I believe, Linux for an operating system. So if you were to want to play any games from like your Xbox or like Xbox or Microsoft PC library, I guess you would have to do some kind of workaround and install Windows on it. So that it sounds like it'll be some flipping back and forth with that with the Steam Deck. But with this Alloy, this Xbox Rogue Alloy, it seems like all of that's just on one device. And Destin Legary, he made it a point to say, yes, I played this and I played Spider-Man. So I think he was trying to send a message to everybody that, yeah, if you buy this, you will have access. You can play Steam games on here. By that method, you would be able to play the PlayStation exclusives that are on Steam. So very interesting. Let me check my headset real quick. Something about this, it's not really looking that sharp through these glasses. That's about the same. So I want to talk about something that happened this past weekend. The 24 hours of Nürburgring, Nordschleife, on iRacing happened this weekend.
Jesus nasty. Said, yo, getting my new gaming laptop tomorrow.
Jesus nasty, how you doing? You getting a new laptop tomorrow? What's it gonna have for a GPU? Because if you tell me it's gonna have like a 4090 GPU in it or something equivalent to it, that thing I'm sure is gonna cost a pretty penny. So the 24 hours of Nürburgring on iRacing took place this weekend, and there was some controversy that some people are going as far as calling a cheating scandal. So it involved Team Redline, and that is the sim racing team that the real life Max Verstappen races on. So for this race, Team Redline had 3 cars in this race. Now, at race start, one car was involved in a crash. Another one, you could clearly see it. The car went off track and then went into the pits. And so at least with that car, it appears that they started with a setup that probably wouldn't be ideal for the race. And I guess what they did was they took the tow
Jesus
back
nasty.
to the pits.
Said, 5080 32 gig RAM got it on sale.
Got on sale? I hate to be nosy, but how much did you get it for? Well, 5080, I mean, give or take, the 5080 and the 4090 is not too far off. So it sounds like you got a beast of a laptop. So to continue on with the controversy, it appears that Team Redline started their cars with a setup that wasn't ideal for race conditions. They took the tow back into the pits and changed their setup that I guess lowered the car to a ride height that would give them extra speed on the straights. So it wasn't against the rules, but I guess it's still viewed as cheating because people felt like they took advantage of an exploit in order to gain an advantage. And that shit, for the most part, is like over my head. As much as I like to consider myself a hardcore sim racer, especially with games like ACC, I didn't know nothing about fucking around with the toe and the suspension and that kind of crap. I didn't know all that. But what the only thing I really kind of paid attention to with ACC was air pressure, because I guess once the tires inflate, that helps with top end speed, and I guess it's like that in real life. But other than that, I really didn't pay much attention to setups. So I just in some cases I bought the Coach Dave setups. But in any case, so I guess the situation with Team Redline, after I don't know how many hours they raced, they decided to pull out. I think they pulled all 3 cars from the race. And I guess this isn't a good look on them. So I put a link to Random Callsign. He did a video kind of being more
Jesus
detailed.
Nasty. Said, 1600. Slim Production. Said, what's up, Clay?
What's up, C Slim? It's been a minute. Jesus nasty. 1600 for that laptop? I don't think that's all that bad, because the 5080 itself for the Founders Edition is $1,000. If you go to one of their partners, I guess AIB partners, you go to Best Buy, I'd imagine third-party 5080s are probably going to be around $1,200 or $1,300. So that being said, $1,600 for that laptop I think it's fairly decent. I mean, my 4090, I paid $1,600 for my 4090 alone. That's just the GPU itself, you know, and we all know the rest. You know, I've got about $4,000 into that computer. So anyway, Random Callsign, he did a video being more detailed about what Team Redline did during this race. I put a link in the description, so if you want to go check out that video and get like a more detailed breakdown from him, definitely go check it out. My opinion of it is I just don't really have a dog in this fight because I don't get that deep into sim racing where like I'm going over every nook and cranny. For me to pull off something like what Team Redline did, somebody would basically have to tell me about it and explain to me exactly how to do it. Because I just wouldn't sink that many hours into a video game or a racing sim looking for that kind of an edge. Let's see what we can find here, multiplayer. So I'm looking for a GT3 GTE. That's locked. That's multi-class. They are in the race. They are in lap 20 out of 32. Quali. Oh, shit. There's only 6 cars in there. But let's try it. 11 minutes remaining. Yeah, we can stay with that Corvette, but I do not want that livery. I gotta have my trusty yellow. I thought I... All right, let's see if we can get in. We got a big week coming up for racing and sim racing. Next weekend, we have the real life 24 hours of Le Mans. I don't know if it's me or not, but this picture doesn't seem to look sharp. It could be the glasses I'm wearing.
Cheese is nasty. said, I had a 3050 laptop for a while, lol.
You had a 3050 laptop? You serious? I'm sorry, man, but why would you even buy something like that? You could probably get more performance out of a wristwatch.
Said, it was on sale at the time, lol. I always use gaming laptop and it did everything I needed to, no issues.
No kidding.
Starfield and Re4 remake fine.
So I am going to leave this lobby because I just saw something that I did not care for. And that person went out of their way to let me know they were there. Okay, so the car that was the Porsche that just ghosted past me, I thought was a friend. And turns out that that person might be a scammer. They contacted me on Steam and they claim that they accidentally reported me. And they said he said in order for this situation to be rectified, that I needed to get in touch with somebody on the Discord and explain to them that I'm innocent and didn't do anything wrong, and then I guess like follow their instructions to clear this up. And I explained to him, and I'm like, okay, if this was a problem that started on Steam, that's where it's going to get resolved. Steam doesn't tell you to go to another format to fix a problem that happened on Steam. And then he responded by saying, well, please don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, you know, please do it now. Please go to this site and type in Alejandro.J something. I can't remember. And please explain to them that you had nothing to do with this. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're the one that and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, if you accidentally reported me, why can't you explain it to them and then they take care of it? Why do I have to get involved? And so I basically said that, you guys got to do a better job of laying a simple mousetrap. And I explained to them that this conversation was being screenshotted. And after I instructed him to never contact me again, I showed that screenshotted conversation to the Discord group that I was in and explained that this guy's probably a scammer, and he conveniently disappeared from that Discord group. So I guess those little antics he did right there was his way of letting me know that he was there. So I don't know what that accomplished.
Cheese is nasty. Said. Oh wow.
Yeah, this happened a while back. Rude Boy Racing, that's the one that I was just in. I'm looking for GT3 or GTE. And looks like a lot of them are locked. Oh man, here's one. Circuit de la Sarthe, 2 of 26 laps. They're in the race right now, so this race is probably going to run at least an hour. That one is locked. GT3 on historic Nordschleife. No, I'm not interested in that. Here's a Watkins Glen that's locked. And there we go. That's locked. Oh, this was a GTE class. That's the one that I was just in. So if he's still in here, yeah, he's still in here. I think what I'll do is do a short single player race and then come back. I've done Daytona a bunch of times. Airport. Leaning towards Bathurst. I'll do GT3 Gen 2 just so I can pick the Corvette. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen this week and what my plans are for this week in terms of streaming content. This looks out of place. Hypercars at Bathurst. Oh well. That BMW behind me spooked me. Because he was trying to go underneath. And they coming too. We took some more damage. By that car behind me. cars is coming. I was wondering when they'd show up. shit. That many classes of cars in here. Oh, no wonder it's a cooldown lap. Duh. I'm sitting here going all out on the cool off lap. Let's head back to the pits. Let me see what my fastest lap was. Best lap was 2:10. I don't know what to say. My fastest lap on this track, I think on ACC was like a 2:01.4. The aliens were doing 2 minutes flat. Some of them even 1:59s. Well, even though it was against AI, it was still a fun race. This game and the F1 games are two games that I don't play a lot of, but when I do get into them, I forget how much fun they were. Locked. Locked. Bathurst locked. 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 Nordschleife historic no. Nope, the GTEs is what I'm looking for, the GT3s, and they're locked. Out of curiosity, oh, they got Gen 1, 2. Oh boy, would I be able to join this race? Nope, spectate. But it looked like the race might be over. So I saw a countdown. So maybe the race is over. Maybe I can get in this. But they're probably more likely to go to a different track. Where are we at? Seven laps. GT2 sounds decent. CVR, so there is a VR guy in here. That was a multi-class race. And oh no, they got 8 laps to go. Yep, all the GT3 races are locked. And there was the only one that was open had 1 player in it, and it was at historic Nordschleife, which I'm not interested in. Nah. Barcelona, no. Just nah, not Imola or Interlagos. Jerez. This Kansai is based. This is Suzuka. Kyalami, I played that enough times. I'm not going to do Le Mans because I'm sure we're going to see that this week on Le Mans Ultimate. I've done Long Beach a few times. And Monza. Road Atlanta would be a little bit interesting. I'm not going to do Sebring because we see that enough on Le Mans Ultimate. Yeah, let's try that. Opponents. Let's get rid of that. Opponent number. The GT3s. Gen 2. Let's throw Gen 1 in there too. All right, so we got Gen 1, Gen 2 of GT3s and hypercars. Let's go. they doing? water run through your veins. Oh boy, oh, that left my left shoulder burning. This is a magnificent game. It is still the king of VR visuals. It's still the best looking racing game in VR. When it comes to attention to details, smoke from the tires, locking up the wheels, flat spots, damage to the cars, bloom, full course yellows with safety cars and all that kind of stuff. I think this is still one of the best games out there when it comes to attention to detail. I think only F125 and I don't know about maybe iRacing, but because I don't have that game, I really can't say for certain. But those games are probably the only other games that matches this game's attention to detail. How they put all this work into this game and didn't have the foresight to put in ranked races in this game. Ranked daily races. This game has no ranked daily races. I'll say this. Once upon a time, this was my favorite game, especially the first time I ever played it. It was so beautiful. Even on that primitive VR equipment that I had, even on the Oculus Rift S. Such a beautiful game to me at that time. And it ran buttery smooth. I'm thinking, you know, after coming from ACC, how could something this beautiful run this good? And I would dare say that if this game had in-game daily ranked daily races, I definitely would have quit ACC. It would have taken a lot to get me off of this game. I was hoping that Low Fuel Motorsports would save this game, but it hasn't. It's dead. It showed promise in the beginning, but Low Fuel Motorsports on this platform is dead. I think it's just about dead on just about all platforms, and I think one of it is the emergence of Le Mans Ultimate. Le Mans Ultimate has daily ranked races. It has an in-game report system, ranking system. So I think, I don't know. I mean, it feels, it's an amazing game, but it feels like a cult game. It feels like, you know, only a few dedicated people. But it's an amazing game, and it's just, I don't play this game that much, but when I do, I feel like I want to race all day. So that's how good of a game it still is. Great audio in this game too. I think as far as car audio goes, I think it's got to be in the top 5. One thing where Le Mans Ultimate has all the games beat is where you go off the track and you go into the onto the rumble strips. That is loud, and you definitely feel it in the force feedback. So Le Mans Ultimate got them all beat with that. I'm going to have one more look and see if there's a multiplayer race I can join. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and hang it up. But before I do, I want to talk about what's going on this week with real life racing and sim racing. Interlagos. Let's see what we got. Well, we got 20 out of 26 people. Oh, they're still racing. Oh, never mind. They still got 7 laps to go. Yeah, this is it right here. But it's showing quali though. It's showing that they're in quali. 24 hours of Le Mans. They're in the race. Yeah, it shows that they're in quali. Yeah, they're in qualifying right now. So I wonder why it wouldn't let me in. Custom event. I do think the Corvette on this game sounds a little bit better than the Corvette on Le Mans Ultimate, but I think with the race is about to start, so bam! Like a lot of people want to use Porsches. Oh, ow, woo! Ow! He was about to lose it. Okay. All right, let me break on out of here. Talk about what's going on this week and wrap it up. So, Tuesday, we have the big update that everybody's been waiting for on Le Mans Ultimate. We get driver swap. We get the last race of the 2020, the last track of the 2024 season, and that's Losail, otherwise known as Qatar. We get the two cars. We get the Lamborghini, and we get the Lexus RCF. We get driver swaps, custom liveries as we speak right now. I've paid someone to come up with a team logo for us. We've already, I've talked to my friend Hanez Catone. We already have a name picked out for our team. I'm paying someone to work on the team logo. I'm just, being that I found him on X, I just hope it's not a scam or anything like that. But it's going to take about a week or two before they get back with me with a rough draft. So we've got that, and then on the 13th, which is the eve of the 24 hours of Le Mans, Motorsports Games will be on hand at the press conference, and they will release a video giving us an update of the roadmap for Le Mans Ultimate. And I speculated that I think that the big giant announcement could be an official announcement that Le Mans Ultimate is going to console. Now, I was watching Michi Hoyer's video. He thinks it's a long shot, but he thinks it's a possibility they could announce maybe a R Factor 3. I also think that in addition to Le Mans Ultimate console version, I also think we'll get announcements for the Aston Martin Valkyrie hypercar and the Mercedes AMG LMGT3 being used by the Iron Lynx team this year. So Traxi and GG has alluded to Le Mans Ultimate adding content from other Le Mans series, the Asian Le Mans series, the European Le Mans series, which means we could possibly get tracks like Silverstone. I don't know what that would mean in terms of cars. I think in terms of cars that we don't have that might be on any of those circuits, the only car that I can think of would probably be the Honda NSX GT3. Who knows? Maybe an announcement of historic content going back to the 90s or something, the Mazda 787B, historic tracks, who knows? But I do think that the biggest announcement, or there probably could be an announcement of how Le Mans Ultimate plans to use the Pimax headset to take full advantage of the game. We could get that kind of announcement, but yeah, I do expect that Le Mans Ultimate to console will be the biggest out of everything they plan to announce this Friday. So naturally, I'm going to stream on Tuesday. I am not going to work tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, fairly early in the morning. So when I get back from that doctor's appointment, as crazy as it sounds, I might have a look at what the new daily races are on GT7 and possibly have a look at that. I don't have any intentions of working this game back into my regular, what's the word I'm looking for? Into my format, whatever you want to call it. I'm just curious that given the right car track combo, would I be fast enough to get back to the A class? Because getting into the A class is the only way you're going to get the kind of racing that the hardcore people enjoy, where it's competitive but not dirty. The A class is the only way you're going to get that type of racing. B class or less, you're going to be dealing with dirty racers. That's just the way it is. So I just want to pose the hypothetical question. If I had the right track and the right car, would I have enough pace to get back to the A class? So that's all it is. It would be just a stream to answer kind of what's been a burning question. So All right, folks. I think that's gonna do it for me. Although I did races against single player, it was still fun. And if I don't see you guys tomorrow on GT7, definitely look for me on Tuesday once I get out of work. Oh, I just thought about something. It's going to be late in the evening because I actually have to leave work early on Tuesday because I have to take my son to the Secretary of State for a test at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And given how far away he lives, I might not get back home until like 8 p.m. Eastern. So, yes, I'm definitely going to stream because I want to jump inside that Lambo and that Lexus, and I want to see Qatar. So I'll definitely be streaming, but it's probably going to be late in the evening. Those of you in Europe will probably already be sleeping, but for those of you that can tune in, I look forward to seeing you. So, all right, that's that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. And cheese is nasty. Enjoy that laptop. We'll see you all on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. And deuces. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you soon.